to Papua New Guinea. Thanks for tuning in once more to Sports Scene. I would like to say that I've had a great week, but I wouldn't because my team, the Roosters, lost to the Wooden Spooner. So let's not talk about that. Let's carry on with Lawrence. What do you want to talk about that you've done from the last how many days?
I prepared something for you. And you've stolen the thunder.
That's right. I'm just cutting it right there.
What a game. What a game, Ginny.
Yeah, I mean, all the sludging that's been happening, look, we are still 5th on the ladder. So, bottom of the ladder, calm down now.
It was a beautiful weekend. I must say, it was a magical weekend. It was really, really good. But good night, everyone, and welcome on Sports Scene.
All right, so on the show tonight, we have Tamzin Wardley, the chef de mission for Team PNG to the Olympics, joining us. She'll be speaking about how many teams that are codes that are going.
Yep.
She'll also be speaking about, I know there's one athlete that's pulled out, so she'll give more information on that, as well as other stuff, including matters relating to Dika Toua. So that's that. We also have Matthew Church joining us for the preview of the split round 8, preview of the round coming up this weekend. So that's coming up on the show. And we have on the vault a throwback to, Rugby League throwback to the 90s.
Can't wait for that.
Yeah.
I really can't wait.
So, scoreline, Lawrence.
Yep. We'll go straight through to the scoreline, and this is what happened over the weekend. The Cowboys 36 over the Knights 20. New Zealand Warriors escaped with a 30 points to 26 win over the West Tigers. The Sharks won in Golden Point 13-12. And the Titans notched up another win against the Bulldogs. The Bulldogs, 30 points to 20. As we flick it across to the other page, and right on the top there, boom, it's in your face. Okay. Broncos 34, Roosters 16. Wow, 34-16. Oh, okay, sorry, there's other results as
Moving
well.
on.
Melbourne Storms 34, Raiders 10. And then on Sunday, my goodness, in the last 3 weeks, the Rabbitohs have scored, there's been 50 or more points scored against them. Panthers 56, Rabbitohs 12, and Tom Travojevic and this Manly Sea Eagles 28 over the Parramatta Eels 6. That is the second loss for Parramatta. Just crazy. Now, this is the split round. Half of the games played last weekend. Pride 22 over the Cutters 20. Seagulls 54 beat the Tigers 12. Magpies 34 defeated the Capras 20. And the Devils 34 defeated the Falcons 22. All right, the results of this week's round 8 split round will be, they'll be played this weekend. All right, welcome back. You're watching Sports Scene. It is time now for the Zoom session with, of course, our SP PNG Hunters head coach, Matt Church, who's online with us this evening. Hey, Coach, how are you? How was your, nice off weekend? You get up too much?
Hi, Lawrence. How are you? It was good for me to get a weekend away from football and not have any commitments over the weekend, even though we had a couple of boys playing in a local competition. So I had to make sure that they were right and ready to go. And then I had a bit of time off myself to reset and recharge and come back full of energy this week.
Yeah, you play Redcliffe at the brand new stadium. And it's good to see that we've got Edun Ipape, Samuel Yegip, and also Benji come into the frame. And welcome back to Enoch Maki. Man, it's been quite a journey for him.
Yes. So, our last game, I literally had 16 players to pick from and had to play Stanton Albert straight out of isolation to make up the 17, which I didn't want to do, but that's just the nature of where we were at. So to have those guys come back in and have 22 players available for selection this week feels like a bit of a luxury. I don't think any other Queensland Cup coach would be thinking that 22 is a luxury, but for me it is. But yeah, we welcome back Enoch, who was pretty much right to go for round 1, and then on the Wednesday before round 1 hurt his knee. He had to be sent for a clean out of his knee, and he got some valuable game time last weekend in the Gold Coast competition, playing about 35 minutes. And it's nice to welcome back that kind of experience to our group, because we are a young group. So the more calm and experienced heads we can add in and around those boys, we should see better performances.
Watovo, he's okay. His ankle's all good.
Yeah, him and I guess Appel continues to follow the similar path. Both hurt their ankles in the same game, and so we've just been nursing them. And they're certainly getting closer to be 100%. So they still be right to get through the game this weekend. We'll just look at how we monitor their minutes and keep them fresh and fit and on the field.
Coach, what's the plan for this week? Obviously, we were in the game till sort of the last 20 minutes. You just need that extra effort from the boys?
Yeah, I think the last two games we were pretty much in it to like 55th and 60th minute or something of that nature. So, yeah, and the game just got away from us. But that's, again, being down to, I think, the week before, again, in the East game, I only had 18 guys to pick from out of the squad as well. So I haven't had the luxury of, have some of our more experienced guys in and around that. So when you get in the game management, it's not quite there, or that youthful exuberance kind of overpowers some stuff, because boys are in situations they've never been in before. So we probably got beat on experience in both of those games. And then obviously because we were down to those low on numbers, the back end of the game, our match fitness for those guys who were coming in playing game one or game two probably wasn't where we needed it to be. So, so grateful this weekend that we get the three back from suspension and add Enoch into that mix as well. So I should be more comfortable moving forward. And this weekend we play for the Stan Joyce Cup. Stan, it's his first year as the Hunters chairman, and I've never named in my honour. So I'm sure it'd be great pride to Stan, and he wants to capture it back, and we hope to get that back for him.
Yeah, no, I think it'll be a really good game. We spoke about it briefly last week. It's at the Moreton Daily Stadium, refurbished stadium. It'll be a night game. So basically for the boys, this will be like playing, as we said, like here at the NFS.
Yeah, exactly. So most of the other grounds in the Queensland Cup, they some of them play night games, but they don't have the lighting of NRL standard, which we have back in NFS. Which Redcliffe they actually host the National Soccer League, the A-League soccer games are being the rule games are held out of there currently. So the lighting's of top quality. So it's almost like playing during the day, I guess, with the artificial light taking over. So it's certainly a beautiful stadium. Now I think it holds about 10,000 people, so it's slightly smaller than NFS. But it's state of the art, and they're obviously pushing to get in as one of the big teams for the NRL. So part of that is having the infrastructure in and around that. And a boutique stadium of that size is probably would fit that area really well.
All right. Well, Coach, I think that's all I have for this week. Again, Redcliffe Dolphins at Moreton Daily Stadium on Saturday at 6 p.m. Please pass our best wishes to the boys. No pressure, but please win.
No worries, Lawrence. Thank you.
Everyone, welcome back. You're watching Sports Scene. We'll be speaking now to Tamzin Wardley, the chef de mission for Tokyo Olympics. Tamzin, thank you so much for joining me.
Yeah, pleasure to be here.
And last time I spoke to you was February?
Yes, absolutely.
I'm sure you have lots. I'm sure you have lots to tell me tonight. First of all, let's talk about the number of codes going to the Olympics. Has that changed?
So we've had a number of codes drop out, sadly, over the last few months. The last one to drop out was Jeffrey from table tennis. He's had to make a commitment to continue his education and studies. So he's pulled out from the Olympics, but will then be focusing on the Commonwealth Games as his next big event. So we've still got 8 sports in the running. We've now got 4 that are confirmed to go, but yes, there's still 50% still trying to get through the qualification and invitation process.
Now tell me about the from the 8, which ones are still based in country and which ones are now offshore? I know weightlifting is one of them.
Absolutely. So we've only got 2 sports that are here in PNG now. So we've got our boxer, John Ume, who's still based here and training here in Port Moresby. And of course our rugby sevens girls are all still here. So they continue training, but they're about to head offshore for their final qualifier event. They've got to travel all the way to Monaco in Europe in June. So it's been a huge challenge to arrange how they get over there. World Rugby has been working on that, and that's just been finalised. We're hoping to get their coach, Paul, over from New Zealand to be able to travel with the team. So it's been very difficult for them training as a group and a team. So it's going to be a very big challenge for them. It's 12 teams from across the world for the Repechage event. They are seated in the top 3, which is fantastic. Awesome. Yes. But of course that's based on their results from almost a year ago now. So they've been stuck here in PNG for over a year now, and have had very, very limited opportunities for any kind of competition at all.
Whereas for many other sports, yes.
All our sports, yes, but unfortunately the teams they're up against in Europe and the like, they have had competition happening over there. So it will be a challenge for the girls, but we wish them every luck.
Of course. Now, there's this rule, the universal rule. Tell us again about, I know that from what I understand, that's athletics and swimming. Is that still the case, the ones that fall under the universal rule?
That's correct. So part of the Olympics profile is that they have attendance from every Olympic nation in the world. So this universality rule applies just to athletics and swimming, and it means that every country can enter athletes in those events. So we will have 2 swimmers going, and they've now been selected by FINA, the Swimming International Federation. So yes, Ryan Maskelyne and Judith Murray have been confirmed as our athlete representatives for swimming, which is fantastic for those 2. Ryan has been training in Brisbane for this entire time, and Judith actually went over on a FINA scholarship to Thailand over a year ago. I think it was like a 3-month training camp, and she's still there in Thailand. So they've just had to keep extending the camp. So those athletes over there have stayed in Thailand, and she'll actually fly. Yes, because of COVID. Yes. So she'll actually fly to Tokyo from Thailand. So we won't see her before before we get over there.
Well, I'm sure she'll have better training facility and everything to make use of.
Yes. So no, in a way she's been very lucky, because of course our swimming complex here was closed during the COVID. So she has been able to continue training. Though they've had their own restrictions to comply with in Thailand. And of course athletics. So for athletics we're only allowed 1 athlete. So we've still got Toya Whistle and Raleigh Capuchin almost competing against each other to get the selection for athletics. So at the end of the day it's the highest ranked athlete on the world rankings. Toya's in the United States, training with her coach over there and competing in events over there to get ranking points. And Relly's based down on the Gold Coast, where she's been for the last year with her coach, and she's competing in the local athletics competitions that are happening in Australia right now. So again, sort of mid-June, we will find out which one of those 2 is going to be part of the team.
Likewise, for the rest of the ones trying to qualify by mid-June, we should get a fair idea of who's going, who's not going.
That's right. So we should know the final squad, but not until about the 20th of June, which is really just a few weeks before we all get on the plane and head over there. So it's very difficult not knowing until so close to the event. But the clock is ticking. We're getting there very quickly.
All right. So from all these athletes trying to qualify for the Olympics and the teams, how many of them have gotten the vaccines already?
So we're hoping that the entire team will have the vaccine by the time we travel. We were very fortunate that we managed to get the first round of the vaccine happening here in Port Moresby a couple of weeks ago. So we're just waiting now. There's supposed to be a 12-week gap between the 2 vaccines. So hopefully we'll have the second vaccination towards the end of June. And the international athletes have all been getting vaccinations as well. We were very fortunate. The Australian Olympic team is working in conjunction with all the Pacific nations to try and get any of our athletes who are based in Australia vaccinated alongside the Australian Olympians. So that process is rolling out at the moment.
Okay. Chef, I know you would not want to talk too much about the legal side of matters relating to Dika Toua, but let's just go through the pathway for them right now, not only for Dika Toua, but for Moria Barrow as well. I know that down south right now, from now till the Olympics, what are they up to? What are they going through right now?
Absolutely. So obviously, as everybody knows, they've always been part of the Weightlifting Institute in the Pacific, which was based in Noumea with their very famous coach, Paul Coffer. And then in March last year, that institute closed because of COVID, and the two of them, Maria and Dika, have been back here in PNG. So Paul Coffer is now based down in Melbourne, and the Oceania Weightlifting Institute has just reopened now in Melbourne, so literally this month. So yes, Dika and Maria were both flown down to Melbourne. They've just got out of quarantine in Melbourne and started training on Monday. So just back into training with Paul. So yeah, they're back into it, and the intention is that they'll stay there until we travel to Tokyo. So they'll be travelling to Tokyo, in mid-July, and travelling with their coach, Paul Coffer.
Okay. Where does Team PNG and PNGOC stand in all of this? There's been a lot of widespread talk on social media about the legal actions against Dika Toua. I'm sure you wouldn't want to say much, but I think I'll give you this opportunity to say a little bit about where you stand.
Absolutely. I mean, the team and the PNG Olympic Committee, stand behind Dika. She's been a great ambassador, not just for sport, but for our country for over 20 years. And a few headlines in a newspaper don't change that. She remains a great ambassador
She's
for
made
our country.
even more positive headlines, I would say.
Absolutely. This will be her fifth Olympics, which for a female weightlifter is a record.
Absolutely.
And we're going to do everything we can to ensure that she is there representing our team and our country.
And we are all rooting for her as well. Yeah. Look, Chef, thank you so much for coming in. If you have anything else to add, I'll give you this opportunity.
I'd just like to assure the public that the team will be looked after very well from a safety and COVID point of view over in Japan. I know there's lots of media reports about that COVID is still happening in quite a big way in Japan.
True.
But there's very strong protocols around it. We've already mentioned that the team will be vaccinated before they travel. But there's a huge process of testing that's going to be happening. Before we go, we're going to have 3 tests before we get there. Once we're there, we'll be tested every day. The health authorities over there will be actually managing the situation if anyone in the Games Village, does test positive. So there's lots of reporting and testing that's going to be done. So I'd just like to assure everyone that the team will be safe.
Yeah. I forgot to ask you something. What about the drug tests that will be carried out? Has what's the body that's in charge of?
Yeah, WADA.
Yes. Has it come through with some advice on how they're gonna go around this whole thing? Because these athletes are taking in a vaccine, and with the drug test, have they come through with some information?
Yes, so no, we asked that question when the vaccinations were first talked about. Were vaccinations safe and wouldn't, affect the WADA, the anti-doping testing that the athletes have to go through? So no, the vaccine doesn't trigger any of those issues for anti-doping. So yes, WADA has deemed it perfectly safe for the athletes to have, and yes, it won't break any rules.
Okay, all right, so that's clear now. Okay, Chef, I'll let you go. Thank you so much for coming in tonight.
And thank you very much, and hopefully we'll be talking a little bit more as the team gets finalised.
Yes, of course. We'd love for you to come on every week from now on. You're free to come on anytime.
All right. right, welcome back. You're watching Sports Scene. We've come to the end of the show for tonight, but just before we end off, we have got a special vault for you. Remember last year we had a whole heap of vaults taking us back into time. Well, this time we go back to about 1991-92. Let's roll the tape and see what it's all about.
In this game, there's the start, Brunk up, sending it down deep. And coming back with the ball for the first play is Taru. Papua New Guineans. Uruguay now tackled.
One thing you will find with the Papua New Guinean side is that what they lack with skill, maybe touch ability, they make up for with enthusiasm. For 14 minutes out there, you'll see one of the most enthusiastic.
Now they make it do the work. They put it through the hands. Ben Boydie turning it back into the centre. But Dika Toua, he's running fast. He'll go all the way and put it down. Papua New Guinea, 16-10 now.
Well, a tremendous try.
And this will be the last movement coming up now for Canberra. What can they do? It's with Peterson, a little run around. In possession in their own quarter. Moving it out wide. And a nice run. Mullins coming quickly, but the Papua New Guineans keep the football alive, and they're looking very threatening, and this is going to be a magnificent Papua New Guinea try. What a try that is! Scored by Tutsi Karu.
Football stadium to a huge round of applause from this big crowd here watching the Coca-Cola Sevens.
Yeah, they'll have their foot in. This will be a very exciting game. We're going to see some fine football play.
Jarvis, former Eastern Suburbs player, takes it up for Western. Up time is almost Jackson too. That's defence from Western Suburbs in the black and white. George Jarvis in there as the marker now. This is a meal. PNG now straight down pace, almost got through, got up and had another go. Now he looks for support. Through it comes in the shape of Carew, and away they go. Carew, he's doubling, he'll go all the way. Look at the head goes back, down he goes, and does the belly roll. Oh, that's the last moment when they score. Oh, yes sir, that's the way to do it. Under the post, and there's life in the game, yes.
Oh, what about his hands? Genius hands. Look at this. He comes on the inside, fumble, and he gets it and away he goes.
Well, there you go, 1991-92 there. Let me introduce him now. I'm actually lost for words. The famous and legendary Tutsi Karu, who's with us here in the studio. Tutsi, wow, good night. You all right, huh?
Good night, all right.
You look, go back to the video. You were playing. Man, what an experience.
Yeah. Well, this is our first time playing plan. We lost like in sevens, we play long, and I'm play game long, play long. Play go run, play experience him lo tamlo.
Man, you were pretty fast, huh? Very quick, long legs, huh? Well, can you run that fast now? Or?
Oh.
Name him some old players, you play one team.
Play one team. Richard Wagambi.
Yeah.
Stanley Aru, Jack Urodog, James Very, Karen Afkin, Philip Bogue.
Well, it's 29 years ago, so,
yeah.
You know. But Tutsi, time you look into the footage, what sort of memories were, what was going through your mind? How na, me look him reaction, na, tintin,
me, also thinking back the days where me play. Come play long and how me la as in playing la competition, la tournament. I'm also one black and amas where me even kiss him long and because we expect him was in by me establish la team or one but I just was in one black and game where we play long and where we in hot lo the man lo.
You won it. I mean, to this day, Tuxi, I must say, it's one of the most viewed videos. It is one of the most viewed videos. This la where you score and try and put the ball backside na, you slip go down. I mean, that's iconic now.
Yeah.
You know, that's something that is edged in history.
Yeah.
Before you play go, you know, you guys were playing. That was the sevens, huh? The World Sevens Rugby League, and there was the first of its kind now. You think you first time you play a night game, huh?
Yeah.
You know, in front of a big crowd.
Yeah.
You know, that must have been a really big experience.
Yes.
Who was your coach at the time?
Badido.
And he had some really quick guys as well, huh? Wow. Okay, Tuxi, we're going to end things off there, but me just ask him, you lo, also maybe give him little encouragement. Lo, all rugby league players, believe me, all players, time you play, you know, training was important now. You know, listening to your coach. Maybe you can talk lo camera now, just give him little advice, believe you, lo players.
So, you know, big advice by me give him long. Big plus something I'm commitment blue harem talk like I'm time before me plan like recruitment training or like physical training me plus I walk him long but me plus I commit me play like I train once you like come up with like I play or you like one commitment I'm stop on him you have to work him trust na one more something I'm stop on him look they encourage me low because something I'm training now. Now you got goal look kisim longen, you got aim look kisim longen, you get. You got commitment lo walk him kisim kagat. And so.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Very good, Tuxi. Thank you very much. Lo come inside the studio and well, there you go. Just a segment on the vault, and we'll be bringing you more of the vault in the near future right here on Sports Scene. Now, we'll continue on with our last, as we wrap up the show for tonight. And we got now the NRL weekend preview. Let's have a look at who we got playing this evening. The Brisbane Broncos are taking on the Storms. All right, big game tonight to kickstart round number 12. And on Friday, all right, on Friday night, these are the two games that will be played. The Cowboys take on the Warriors. West Tigers will take on the Dragons. Okay, and on Saturday, Super Saturday, Penrith Panthers versus the Bulldogs. Wow, good luck, Bulldogs. Good luck. Rabbitohs versus the Eels. A tough game there. Rabbitohs will be trying to beat after their performance last week, and the Raiders take on the Roosters. All right, to round off your Saturday night games. Now on Sunday, the Cronulla Sharks take on the Gold Coast Titans, and Newcastle Knights take on the Manly Sea Eagles. All right, well there you go. That is the review or the preview, I should say, of the NRL. Good luck to all the tipsters out there, and also the teams that are playing. Dinny.
Very big good luck to the Roosters. I know they will win. Let's not talk about last week. They will win. They will definitely win. Okay. But let me just say, Tuxi Karu.
Wow.
Very creative tries there.
Yeah, I mean, you see him, the way he talks to
I know.
the guy that he was 29, 30 years ago. So, and it's incredible. It's an amazing time machine.
Yeah, true. All right, so before we go, story tips. Please do send in your story tips to sports@emtv.com.pg, or you can call us on 312-9200, showing on your screen right now, or you can inbox us on our Facebook page. That's the Sports Scene Facebook page, and leave your contact details and your story tips, and we will get right back to you. That's about it. Any more announcements you would like to make?
No, that's it from me. Go the Broncos tonight. Go the Broncos.
Roosters will win. All right, we will see you same time, same place next week. Bye for now.
Good night.